Hi everybody, I'm Captain Floofers,
Well, I'm Soylent Greg.
and we're going to be playing Jets of Time today. My Switch is not hooked up, um, and neither is my Super Nintendo. I'm playing this off of an emulator. My GameCube is actually hooked up right now, and I didn't feel like messing with all the cords to get the Switch plugged in, so no Cuphead today.
We could play
Um,
the GameCube game.
we could have played a GameCube game.
Eh, yeah, Floofers and I were bouncing around ideas of what to do tonight because of the Switch situation, and he settled on this. It's
Yeah,
a randomizer for Chrono Trigger.
yeah,
Um,
we actually did record Jets of Time like I think a year or two ago.
we did.
Yeah, it was never published for YouTube
Sorry.
because the sound was fucked up. But um,
Okay.
but we're gonna be playing this. But I have played this on the channel before by myself. So it's
Okay.
Chrono Trigger. Um,
But everything is scrambled up.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
we're
you know the deal if you know what a randomizer is.
yeah. So we start with
What?
Frog and Ayla.
Oh, we're not going to change their names like Pooh and Ass. I'm just
I
kidding.
don't
We
feel
don't have
like it.
to do that.
All right. So the way this works is it's kind of sort of a free roam thing. I don't know if you're familiar with like Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise or Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide.
I am not.
But essentially,
I'm
we start
familiar with
off.
Chrono Trigger.
We essentially the way this works is that we start with the epoch, but we only have access to the Middle Ages and present, and then we basically just gotta get the checks to unlock the other things and get to the end. I have this set as like a with a new player flag set, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
But in order to clear the game, we either have to there's like three ways that you can get to an ending. One of
Okay.
them, I mean, two of them are obviously have to do with Lavos. You either go through,
Like kill Lavos. Yeah.
but also the Zeal fight at the end of the Black Omen can also
Okay.
be a clear if you unlock the Black Omen. I don't know which way the game is going to take us, the logic or anything like that.
So
Usually,
you don't have to kill Lavos. You can just defeat Zeal in the Black Omen, and
the way that it's currently
that
set up,
clears it.
yes.
It doesn't just like take you to Lavos. Okay. Cool. Because in the vanilla game, beat beating her at the Black Omen is one of the ways that you open up the path to the final boss.
Right.
I know that much.
Yeah.
Um,
Usually race flags and the new player flags that I have set up will allow you to count Zeal 2 as a final boss.
cool. So we're in the Middle Ages right now, right?
Yeah. I'm just kind of getting these chests. The
You and me here streaming right now. We're in the Middle Ages, right? We're peasants. This is feudalism.
exactly
We're
feudalism.
on the road to feudalism.
Road to serfdom.
That's right.
Oh, actually, no. We've already traveled that road. We are serfs now. Um.
Eat your heart out, Hayek.
I think I usually just check the markets and stuff for good equipment. The thing is, we're only really looking for certain key items, and
Okay.
they're more or less key items and events are shuffled amongst each other.
Okay.
Chests will very, very rarely, if at all, have stuff we need for progress.
Okay.
They'll usually have like equipment and stuff for us. But we do have some fairly decent equipment here.
Yeah, it seems like Grog has really bad defense compared to Ayla, and the defensive item would really bring his up to match hers.
Yeah.
Um, so you said this is sort of, pardon me, open world. So can we
Ish.
use the epoch right now to like warp to different times?
Right now we have access to the Middle Ages and present day. But
Okay.
as we clear certain events, we'll be able to unlock the other time periods.
Okay. Cool.
Wait, this isn't. Yeah, that's not even a store.
I'm trying to think to myself what events those are and what key items there are in Chrono Trigger.
Basically just like boss fights and like parts of the Masamune um, are key items.
You need the fake Chrono doll or whatever that you substitute for the real Chrono
That
on the mountain.
that's one of them. Yeah. Instead of reviving Chrono through Death Peak actually makes the Black Omen show up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sitting here like I'm trying to remember. Like, okay, what happens in Chrono Trigger? I haven't played this game in many years. Fun piece of trivia for you Soylent Greg obsessives. Chrono Trigger is the very first video game that I ever played to completion on an emulator.
Oh.
Because I could never get a copy of it when I was a kid. It was pretty much one of, if not the first game that I ever emulated when I discovered that Super Nintendo emulators were a thing. I played it on my shitty compact Presario laptop that you remember with the Metallica sticker over the compact logo. And yeah, I played all of Chrono Trigger that way with the keyboard.
That's how I played like every Super Nintendo game back then, because I never had a Super Nintendo until like I was an adult.
That's right. No, I had a Super Nintendo as a kid growing up. I just didn't have Chrono Trigger.
I know, I played yours.
Listen, the only RPG I had was Mario RPG, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think I owned any of the big Super Nintendo RPGs.
I don't think you did.
Got to play them. I only got to play them later, like in high school and college, like Chrono Trigger and Breath of Fire 2 and Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy 2.
It's okay. It's not 1998 anymore. We can give them the actual titles.
I've actually never. I've played a little bit of, but have never beaten Final Fantasy VI. I should probably go back and do that at some point.
6 is very good. I don't like it as much as other Final Fantasies, but it is still a top-notch game. I played the Game Boy Advance version, but it's still practically the same game. I mean, the one when I was playing on emulators, the main ones I played were this. Secret of Mana was another big one that I played.
Nice.
And Mario RPG. Though when I actually played Mario RPG to the end, that was on the Wii Virtual Console, I think.
Oh wow.
Actually, this is a check here. Is getting this guy's tools.
This reminds me of the bananas in Final Fantasy Legend 2.
Yeah.
And make sure you carry some Narcan in case he overdoses on bananas.
Didn't you say that there was some changed text in it?
There is some stuff that's been changed in the Final Fantasy Legend games. So I have Collection of Saga, which is the Nintendo Switch compilation of the 3 Final Fantasy Legend games. And a bunch of little things have been changed. Some of them are understandable. Some of them make absolutely no sense to me. Some of them are completely, like, I would prefer nothing be changed, honestly. But some things I get. They changed the Colt to the pistol.
Oh yeah, that's a copyright
reasons.
Yeah.
They also changed the Red Bull enemy to oh god, what is it, like Red Horn or something like that. And they fixed the spelling. It's no longer the cat craw, it's the cat claw. But they made some like very strange changes to them as well. Honestly, I have a theory about it. I think that they did some like sensitivity kind of changes, but I think they honestly just took an AI and looked at the script. Because the most egregious one, there is it's actually in Final Fantasy Legend 2. There is a guy, I was like, this is really weird. There's a guy in Giant's Town who gives you a tip on how to get into the Giant's house. And the original line is, there's one of the stairs is colored differently. It's hiding like a secret passage into the house. And they changed the word colored differently to pigmented differently, which just makes me think that their AI saw like the word colored and was like, someone could interpret this as a slur. Like, no, it's talking about a stair. Um,
Like a different, like on a
there's
staircase.
yeah, there's a couple of those that are just very weird.
But they kept the censorship from opium to bananas.
Yes, they kept the bananas. It's still the that actually is the best section of the entire game. We haven't really talked about this. I beat Final Fantasy Legend 2. I like it. I don't. It's probably a better game than the first one. I just don't have any nostalgia for it like I do for the first game. It's really obvious playing it that some of the levels in like the tower got way more love than others. Like there's some that are just like, okay, it's here. You race a dragon and then you fight a boss. And then there are some like the bananas one, the Japanese Edo period with like the samurai and everything that are like a whole like quest line that's there.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of the same way with the first Final Fantasy Legend, because there were only like the 4 main stops, but there were like other like in-between levels as well.
But yeah, there's a bunch of like really weird little changes that were made, and none of them are like, oh hey, I love that Robo is hopping in and is acting like Frog. That's great. He's been uploaded with a Shakespeare chip. Okay, so now we have a full party at least.
Yeah.
We don't have the whole party, obviously, but we do have enough to have a full party. Oh, he's only level 2. Shoot, but he's got decent stats, a lot of hit points.
Yeah, let me check and see if he had what, because he should have his normal starting equipment. So yeah, we do have better stuff for him at least.
Nice. On the subject of FFL2, I will say it does do the same thing with difficulty that the first game does, where it's total bullshit, but the game is also so broken that it's really easy to just like snap it over your knee and create like a party that is completely invincible.
Oh yeah, I've seen a speed run of the version of or at least the release of Legend 2 that's on that collection, and it is broken.
Oh yeah. Robots are so good in that game. I kind of wish I had 2 of them instead of 1. I don't have the patience anymore to do things like single character challenges like I used to with Final Fantasy Legend 1. I will say there is one boss that dramatically pissed me off when I beat that game. And it is not even the last boss. It's Apollo.
Oh yeah, I've seen from what I understand, like runs like break to Apollo like all the time.
Yeah, so it's completely it goes. The whole thing with Final Fantasy Legend is, you are every single person in your party is a glass cannon. You hit for massive amounts of damage, but literally like the defense stat doesn't. Like my robot guy who was in the lead had 99 defense, and it didn't mean shit. Like it's like vigor in Elden Ring. It's the difference between everything killing you in 1 hit and getting like 2 or 3 hits before you die. So Apollo comes along, and there are 2 ways to defeat Apollo. One is the classic way, you can knock out all of his hit points. But he has twice as many hit points as the actual final boss of the game. Or there is what is probably the developer intended way to beat him, which is, so when the fight first starts, he doesn't do anything. He has all of your, like, magical MacGuffins, that give you like special power-ups, and he uses one of them to negate almost every type of damage for 4 or 5 turns while he taunts you. Then he transforms into a big monster and beats the shit out of your party with a flare spell and the Masamune. And after, I want to say 10 or 12 rounds after he transforms into the monster, he starts to melt down because he doesn't actually have all of the magical MacGuffins. Sorry to spoil this, you guys. And then he automatically dies. And I think that's, story-wise, what is supposed to happen. Like, they designed it that way. But, holy shit, his flare spell almost kills everyone in the party. And getting stabbed with the Masamune killed every single member of my party except for one instantly.
That was the robot.
So what I had to do, I had to look this up. I went back to the second world and bought these things called speed ups, that are little items you quaff to increase your speed for like that combat. And I spent his like waiting turns, hitting him with non-elemental damage, and feeding the speed ups to my 2 people who did magic, and equipping them with the wands that heal everyone. And then making sure that they went first before the boss every round, and doing literally 2 full heals on the party, and just praying that he didn't sword kill every single person and both of my healers before he died. I had to do it like 3 or 4 times, and finally I got lucky enough that we managed to survive it, and that was way more of a pain in the ass than the actual final boss of the game was. So now we're in
the cathedral.
We're in the sexy church with the demons, with Colonel Mustard and the candlestick.
Sure.
And we're fighting snakes.
No step on snake.
Why did it have to be? Please no step on snake.
I should have probably picked up some shelters before I came here, actually. The place that gives you free shelters in the forest is still just free shelters.
Oh, cool. Right. I'm blathering about old-ass RPGs from the 90s. I will probably...
but Greg,
I will almost...
What do you think I'm playing?
Oh, yeah. I will almost certainly play Final Fantasy Legend 3 at some point. I just kind of got burnt out on the whole, like, Game Boy RPG thing by the end of the second game. From what I hear, the third game is a lot more like a normal Final Fantasy game. It was apparently not made by the guy who made the first 2 games, and it was made by the people who made, like, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest or something like that. So I look forward to trying that out at some point. But right now I'm playing Hollow Knight. I'm having a lot of fun with Hollow Knight when I have, like, time to write. Or when I'm not writing and I have time to play video games, I should say.
I'm kind of interested in picking up the that Saga collection. But the like the Saga game that's kind of interested me for like the past like few years probably is Saga Frontier for some reason. I think it's because I heard one of the final boss themes and I thought it was really good, so I'm just like I want to play the game that has that music in it.
Is Saga Frontier the one that is like is the one where you play as the multiple different characters, and like one of them has like a path that is just like blatantly unfinished or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
But the re-release they finished that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've heard about that game. I've heard it's like what is it? Like an underappreciated classic RPG that never really got its due.
So this should be good. Yep. I don't think that the bosses are shuffled in this seat either, so...
No? So we'll have...
We'll have Yakra.
I was gonna say we'll have the evil priest guy who turns into the monster.
Yeah.
It's like that SpongeBob meme. I'll have a evil religion that where the priests turn into demons. Oh, daring today, aren't we? It's what I was talking about Breath of Fire too, and that does the exact same thing. Oh, the church is evil and their leaders are secretly demon. And Final Fantasy Legend, I mean, the church isn't demons, but you literally cut God in half with a chainsaw at the end of that game.
That's pretty much like every game that has religion in it, especially if that religion is Christianity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like look at like every Shin Megami Tensei game, where like Christian God is a possible final boss, depending on which path you take.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Shin Megami Tensei, and it starts with that dream sequence at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, like, the giant cross appears and, like, spins in front of you, and I'm like, I see why this game never came out in the West.
But it did come out in the West. In a very limited fashion, but it still came out.
Oh, I'm like, I certainly never heard of it when I was a child.
Oh, wait, yeah, oh.
I never heard of
Shin
Megami Tensei until,
I forgot to play
featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
This was before the iPod release.
Oh yeah, I feel so fucking ripped off by that.
That's because you had it on an iPhone, didn't you?
I am one of the people who bought the iOS release of Shin Megami Tensei 1. And, yeah, it no longer works.
Because Atlas couldn't be bothered to update it to work on the newer OS?
Yep.
They're just making another Persona 5 spinoff, probably.
Probably. Oh, no, well, now it's going to be Metaphor spinoffs.
Is it?
I have no idea. I just know Metaphor did really, really well for them. Which, great, Mazel Tov. I'm literally, I haven't bought Metaphor, and I'm like 90% sure that probably sometime this year they will announce a
better version.
An expanded version of Metaphor, and that's the one that I'll buy.
Pretty much.
Metaphor Royal, or, Metaphor Golden.
Metaphor Vengeance.
Yeah, whatever it is. I got burned on SMT5.
I watched there's like one streamer I follow here and there. I watched him play a little bit of it. It looked pretty good.
Oh, Metaphor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. I've played a little bit of because there's a demo on Steam, and I've played a little bit of it, and it's good. Yeah, and it runs, really well on the Steam Deck, so there's no problem there.
I don't think I have any healing spells.
I was gonna say,
well, I mean, I couldn't heal on the way over.
This is a really early boss, but at the same time, do you have any items that heal?
No. Like I said, I should have picked up some shelters.
If I just gonna have to kill him fast, I guess.
I'm sure.
If you don't get some shelter, you're gonna fade away.
I'm sure Robo can finish.
Dead, I think. Yeah, he did.
It's okay. This is what I get for like not getting the obvious free items.
They're both doing a shit ton of damage. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, that's a shitload of damage for like this early in the game. I do not remember doing triple digits with each hit to Yakra, so there we go. And he's alive, folks.
Alright, give me item.
That's actually a really neat feature with Final Fantasy Legend 2.
Okay, it's still him.
They made it so that in that game, unlike the first game, if you die, one of your characters dies during combat, they come back to life with 1 hit point after combat. Which is a lot more convenient than the first game where each character has 3 hearts, and when they run out of hearts, they're gone for good. Thank you for saving me from that chest. I smell like onions now. I did so many farts in that chest that I almost suffocated.
We let Bane out of the chest?
Please. Oh, who is he? I don't even know who. I was trapped in that chest for so long, Ariel. They were
No,
going to put
why
the
did you
chest
change the voice?
under the. They were going to put the chest under the sea.
Why bother changing the voice?
I don't know. I was thinking about when we worked together, and that person's package, the thing that showed where it was like out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh god.
I was like, under the sea. The package will never reach your door. One day it might wash up on the shore. That was good times. All right, so we've checked. Um, oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
the cathedral's all the important checks in the cathedral are done now. It's
Cathedral's
basically just
clear
like
now.
whatever Yacker gives us, and it just gave us I think a weapon. It looked like it unlocked a check in the Intrusive Canyon, or no, in the castle. Oh, it's
Oh,
another
okay.
character. It's another character.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Because we beat Yacker, we can go to where Marl normally is, or where Marl normally rejoins you, and there'll be another character for us that we can swap to if we wish.
Who will have her lines, which will be very funny.
I think they cut the lines out.
Oh, they cut the lines out?
Some of the
Robo talked like Frog, which was cute.
yeah, some of the places they've cut the lines out. Some they leave them in.
Be Magus. Be Magus talking like a princess.
Um,
What?
there we go. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Vanilla Marl.
Oh, it is Marl.
Is this even randomized? I mean, yes, it is, but like, at least
Well,
we
that's
have.
funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Who should? I want to put her in because she has heals, potentially.
Yeah. I was
Um,
gonna say you've got a healer now.
I'll swap out Ayla for now.
What was your party the first time you played Chrono Trigger?
By the you mean at the end,
Yeah.
I believe it was Chrono, Robo, and Magus.
I
But
believe mine was Chrono, Frog, and Magus.
that's who I usually go with these days, is Chrono Frog and Magus.
I always have Frog in my party. He's awesome. Um, I believe technically the most isn't the most powerful party just in raw numbers actually Chrono, isn't it like Chrono, Maro, Luca or something?
It could be, I don't know.
Because of the elemental triple techs.
Probably. I know that there are some of the the stone triple techs. Like you can get you can unlock additional triple techs with certain colored stones. The ones with Magus are actually really good. There's one with there's one with Magus, Marl, and Luca, and there's one with Magus, Luca, and Robo. It's just that one of the characters has to be equipped with the stone in order for the triple tech to show up.
Triple tech unlocked.
And
Yeah.
that's the only way that you can get Magus to actually do triple techs.
I don't think I ever did that when I was a kid.
I usually don't. I mean, I'll collect the rocks just to have them. But I don't normally go out of my way to use them because I usually just have like Chrono in the party anyway.
Yeah. One thing I really appreciate about Chrono Trigger is that it is much like Final Fantasy VII. It is a game where it is not difficult enough that you need to actually worry about your party composition. You can pretty much beat it with whatever characters you like to play as.
Like every character is good
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. Do I have to go here first, or do I have to talk to the chef first? Rations.
If you want to be Yuffie and Vincent and Red 13. Like, more power to you.
I've still yet to play Final Fantasy VII.
I'm like, can you swap Cloud out in Final Fantasy VII? I want to say you can. I have beaten the original Final Fantasy VII, and I have beaten Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or whatever the first one is.
Remake.
The first new one. I haven't played the second one.
Yeah, I think the first one is...
I have a lot of interest in playing it, honestly.
Yeah, the first one I think is just Remake, the second one is Rebirth.
I was actually struck, honestly. Yeah, I played Final Fantasy VII, the Switch version of it.
Oh, that's just like the original.
Yeah, it's a port of the original. It obviously has some slightly better graphics, and it has some little add-ons where you can like speed the game up.
Yeah, it's based off the Steam version, I think. That's like how the Switch version of Final Fantasy IX is. It's based off the Steam version, which is based off the mobile version.
Playing it,
I got the Chrono Trigger.
Honestly, how good it was. We got the chef had it the whole time.
All right, so possible Black Omen seed. No, you can't eat the Chrono Trigger. We need that for stuff.
What if the captain just shoved it in his fucking mouth? What is this, an iPod? Down the hatch!
Oh yeah, Greg can't hear it, but Xenon Bridge has an alternate battle theme set up. It's one of the unused ones.
Yeah, I can't hear the actual game audio, unfortunately.
I don't know why.
Like I said, I've played Chrono Trigger. I know what it sounds like. It's awesome. I could play some Chrono Trigger tunes on Spotify if I really wanted to. I'm okay. But yeah, I was really kind of taken aback almost by how good Final Fantasy VII actually is and how well it holds up. I did not expect that. I always sort of had I'm not even 100% sure why. I always sort of had a negative opinion of it just from like cultural osmosis.
7?
A lot of the people I hung out with and played video games with had like a negative opinion of Final Fantasy VII. And so, I don't know, I guess that rubbed off on me, but when I actually like finally sat down and played it on the Switch, I was pretty impressed at how well it held up for like a 1997, PlayStation 1 RPG, or 1999, whenever it came out.
I watched a playthrough of it on I think it was Pro Jared's when he played it on Twitch, and I watched the VODs of it on YouTube, and I was not impressed. But it actually put me off on actually playing it. But I do at this point still plan to play it for myself. But it's just like the story. I mean, the gameplay looks fine, if a bit bloated with just like meaningless mini games and stuff. But
there are a lot of mini games in Final Fantasy VII,
and it's understandable considering it was for the PlayStation. It was like one of the first RPGs on the PlayStation, and they wanted to show off all the different stuff that they could do, and I guess Tetsuya Nomura just like went ham on it. But like,
oh, absolutely, they went self-indulgent.
Or was it?
With, like,
no, Sakaguchi
saucer and all that.
Sakaguchi still directed that one, right? Like Nomura just did the character designs.
I have no idea. I can look it up.
I think the last one that Sakaguchi.
And it was 97.
Yeah.
Producer Hironobu Sakaguchi.
Okay.
Yes. So he was the producer for that, and yeah, Tetsuya Nomura was the lead artist for FF7.
Yeah, he's the one responsible for like every character having like belts all over them.
Yeah, he's the one who is responsible for the.
He's the one to blame.
The hate. He's the one to blame for the hate crime that is Lulu's dress made of belts in Final Fantasy X. That was him going hog fucking wild with character designs. Uh-oh. Hello, Zombo.
But like I wasn't like impressed with the story or the characters. Um, like there was no, at least from what I saw, there was like none of the characters like grew at all. Maybe
Okay.
maybe Cloud did a little bit, but that was just the impression that I got.
I feel like he did. The whole like uh, spoilers for Final Fantasy VII from this point on. Like the whole really weird like Evangelion-esque like going into like his memories and like having like the giant like terrified cloud in the sky or whatever, and like having him come to grips with his his past and all like the weird shit involved in the game. I thought it was good. Oh, good lord, he just straight up murdered her. I agree. The plot is very, like, particularly in the second half of the game, the plot is very scattershot. It feels more almost like a Saturday morning cartoon
Yeah,
where we're going through like different episodes more than having like the really focused plot of like the first half where it's all like, okay, we're chasing Sephiroth. We're trying to
what is
get to the black. We're trying to get to the black materia before Sephiroth does, and we're trying to stop, Shinra from destroying the planet.
Yeah, stop Shinra from destroying the planet. Stop Sephiroth from doing whatever it is he wants to do. I still don't really know. Sephiroth was just kind of there for me. He was just... I guess he's the villain, because you fight him last.
I mean, he kinda is.
Like, he has mommy issues, but that's like that's all that I got from Sephiroth, was like he has mommy issues. Like, he's like a... Is he a clone?
Yeah, I want to say... I'm trying to remember the specifics of Final Fantasy VII's. There's like a big twist with like clones. I can't remember if like... Oh, you died.
Yeah, I died.
I can't remember if like Cloud
I don't have
is a
any
clone
heals.
and you're not like the actual Cloud.
Well, how far back does this
like,
take me?
I'm trying to remember. Or were you like the Cloud that was...
I gotta fight Yakra again.
Like the Cloud in your flashbacks was like a different Cloud or something like that?
Like the Cloud in the flashbacks was actually Zack or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. Hang on.
Alright, I think I'm gonna hold off on Xenon Bridge for a bit until I get someone who can actually... Because I gotta fight Yakra again. Sorry.
No, you're cool. I have to remind myself of it. It's been a, like... At this point, it's been like 3+ years since I've played this. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Sephiroth, all of the Sephiroth that you encounter throughout the game isn't the real Sephiroth. He's like clones that were created by Genova.
Okay.
And like you never like the real Sephiroth is, I don't even remember. It's very strange.
Isn't like the one that you're chasing? The one that you're chasing like knows that he's a clone that Genova made, and he wants to like fuse the Genova or something like that.
Yeah, and I want to say it like that's what makes him go insane.
I mean, it makes about as much sense as Evangelion, to be fair.
Yeah.
I liked Evangelion, but like I had to like look up stuff like on the fan wiki to find out what was going on half the time. Cause like after spoilers for Evangelion, after Shinji took out the I forget the guy's name, but he was the last angel basically. He was the guy who was he was the fifth child. And he took over because Asuka was in the hospital or something like that. He took over Unit 2, but he actually was like he was made from Adam's cells and human cells or something like that.
It's been a long time.
And then like right after that happens, like that was like the last angel that they had. He ended up being the last angel that they had to kill. And then um uh Gendo evidently starts the human instrumentation project, and then like the last two episodes are just like um
Batshit insane because
batshit
they had no
insane and
budget.
right because they had no budget. And then like after that, I actually I watched the end of Evangelion movie, which was okay. This is what we wanted the last two episodes to be. Um, and it made slightly more sense, if only because it was still connected to the show and what was happening.
And yes, I have looked it up now. Cloud was just the real Cloud was just an infantryman. He was uh, he wounded Sephiroth, and then he was experimented on and injected with Genova's cells,
Cloud was?
apparently. And yes, so
Okay.
Cloud created a false persona based around Zack's stories and his own fantasies. Cloud accepts his past and reunites with the party, who learn that Aerith's prayer to the planet had been successful. Uh, and then there's the rest of the plot. Yeah, so Cloud isn't really Cloud, and Sephiroth isn't really Sephiroth.
But who was Phone? Is Barrett really Barrett?
Who was Bone? Barrett is actually Mr. T the whole time, and Red 13 was Garfield.
I don't know. I feel like Mr. T in the A Team had more character development than Barrett did.
Yeah,
I mean, well,
didn't you do Barrett's whole side quest in Cosmo Canyon?
yeah,
Like the train and everything.
yeah. And then like that was, I guess okay, so I guess he got a little bit of character development, but then like nothing after that.
I liked the really weird, like, there. Final Fantasy feels like it's Final Fantasy VII. That's one of the things that surprised me is how weird and rough and like swinging for the fences, like batshit insane parts of it were. It feels very of a pace with like a lot of Japanese media in like the second half of the 90s, like Evangelion, where there's sort of this malaise that's caused by like Japan's economic woes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, let's just like explore like sadness and ennui. Like there's that part in Final Fantasy VII where like Cloud, I want to say it's Cloud, freaks out and like starts like attacking Tifa, and like the cat guy whose name I can never pronounce properly,
Ketchy.
basically like pops out and starts like talking directly to the player to like kind of distract them from the fact that like the hero is beating this person up. And I'm like, this is really weird, and it's like really weird in like an uncomfortable way that makes me think of like Japanese cinema from like the late 90s,
It's
like Kiyoshi Kurosawa movies and shit.
Yeah, like and most things that Hideaki Anno's done,
Yes.
including Evangelion.
I also, honestly, I found, even knowing it was coming and it being the most memed thing ever involving the game, I honestly found Aerith's death kind of like moving. Not so much the cutscene itself, but the fact that it kills this character in front of you and then immediately launches you into a boss fight with like no time to like mentally like process it or any time for like the characters to grieve, and it's still playing her like sad ass like tinkly piano theme through the whole boss fight.
I don't know,
I'm like,
man.
I was like, this is actually like really well done. Like, it reflects the way that like horrible things happen, and like we don't get like sometimes we don't get the time to like process and mourn and grieve them.
That's fair.
Maybe that was like just a personal thing for me, but like the way it just dumped you right into the boss fight and is still playing like the sad mournful piano music. It almost
Yeah.
reminded me a little bit of when you fight Dark Souls spoilers, but when you fight Gwyn at the end of Dark Souls, and you're expecting this like big, exciting, boss fight, and instead it's this like, he's extremely difficult, but he's this like decayed, like once like majestic king of like the whole like world you've been traversing, but now he's basically like a decrepit zombie, and instead of like a big boss theme, it starts playing this really like sad, mournful piano theme during your fight with him. And it's like, it's not the emotion that you would expect at all for that moment for the game to give you, and it's why it like stands out for so many people.
Yeah,
And it kind of feels almost like the two of them, like maybe there was some inspiration there. I don't know.
maybe. I have heard that a few times about Aerith's death. It really didn't affect me that much because it's just like again, it's one of those things with 7 for whatever reason for me. I didn't care about any of the characters, so it didn't really hit me at all when she died. And it also
That's totally fair.
It also didn't help that because it was a Twitch VOD, somebody timed a donation alert to come up that said "smoke weed every day" when Aerith got stabbed.
You're about to tell me like the most inappropriate thing ever. And, yeah, when I say like it was like, I don't mean that I was like sitting there sobbing or anything like that. Obviously,
But
I
like,
was just like,
even
oh,
without
this
that,
is like well done. Like,
even without that, I didn't cry or anything like that. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, bye, other character.
yeah, it was more like it wasn't obvious. I wasn't like, oh my god, or anything like that. It was just like, okay, I see why people who played this in like 1997 like lost their shit
Well, yeah,
about it. Even though, Phantasy Star 4 did it first.
yeah.
Just saying.
I think Fantasy Star 4 did it better. Um,
Phantasy Star 4 actually had a in-universe explanation for why the person couldn't be brought back. Like you could do with Aerith every single time throughout the game until she gets stabbed by Sephiroth.
well, the thing is, like, from what I understand, there was actually supposed to be like a side quest later on in the game where you could bring Aerith back, but like they ran out of time or money or something, and they just didn't put that in. And that's why I'm fairly certain that once whatever they're doing with this new Final Fantasy VII remake group of games, when all is said and done, they're going to have a way to bring Aerith back in that.
Oh, I do not doubt at all they will have a way
Because
to do that in
from
the new game.
from what I understand in remake, the first part, that's like the first third or whatever, the first section of the original game.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an understanding that this is like an alternate. It's like spinning off as like an alternate fork from the timeline because they're
Yes.
getting visions of stuff that happened in the original game.
That's absolutely true, and that's a big reason why, honestly, and I hate to say it, it's a big reason why I wasn't really interested in the next game of the new trilogy, because the last couple chapters of remake, there are a few little hints that there's more going on than it just being a straight up, remaster of the game throughout. But the last couple chapters of the Final Fantasy VII remake, don't mean to make anybody mad, they kind of became some Kingdom Hearts bullshit. And I'm not down with Kingdom Hearts bullshit in my Final Fantasy VII game.
Gotcha.
So, I honestly, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, so I don't actually know what happens in Rebirth with, like, changes to the plot and stuff. I should probably look
I
it
don't
up
know
at some
either.
point.
I watched somebody play part of it where they were in the Temple of the Ancients or whatever in Rebirth, but that's all I've seen.
I do think it's really funny in the first remake. I keep getting them mixed up. Which one is remake and which one is Rebirth?
Remake's the first one.
I do think it's really funny that in remake they changed it so that Shinra actually blows up their own reactor to frame Avalanche, because in 2024, in 2023, or whenever it came out, we can't have the heroes be terrorists who blow up a nuclear reactor anymore. I don't remember the exact specifics, but it's like I don't think they don't have a change of heart, but like the bomb that they plant in the remake doesn't go off, or it like fails or something, and then Shinra blows up the tower anyway to like frame them for the terrorist action. And I'm like, you did this because you can't handle the moral ambiguity anymore of the good guys being, terrorists.
Terrorists, yeah. They're freedom fighters, right? It's the it's just the two different terms for the exact same thing depending on how you look. I mean, like, you look at Star Trek Deep Space Nine. One of the main characters was a terrorist back during the I know you. I don't think you know much about Star Trek, but like,
I don't.
The setting of Deep Space Nine is a space station that was built by basically a bad guy race called the Cardassians.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with them. They have the ridges.
Yes. Well, no, they're the ones. I mean, the Bajorans have ridges too, but they enslaved the Bajorans for like years.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And the by the start of Deep Space Nine, the Federation had helped basically helped the Bajorans escape Cardassian control, and this mining facility that the Cardassians built and basically had, its production was through Bajoran slave labor, is now a Bajoran station, but it's like under Federation purview, basically.
Okay.
One of the second in command for Commander/Captain Sisko is Major Kira, who is a Bajoran, and she was one of the recurring villains is Gul Dukat, who was basically like the head honcho at the station during the Cardassian occupation, and Kira was like a leader of like a freedom fighter sect on the station, and was like a huge thorn in the Cardassian side the entire time. But even like she says, like, we were terrorists, like at different points throughout the show.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even without that, the first thing my mind went to when you said that, with like science fiction or whatever, the terrorist or freedom fighter.
Firefly, probably.
Was immediately I thought of Malcolm Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you talk to like an ordinary citizen, Firefly members like Malcolm Brown and Zoe are terrorists.
But they were just separatists, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean I guess they had like the whole thing was based on the killer code, so I guess it was probably like an official, civil war against between the Outer Planets and the Alliance. I don't know the specifics.
I don't remember.
How does this
To Titan AE.
I remember somebody asked Josh Levy long before cancellation at a con once. There was a through line from Titan AE to Firefly.
The Don Bluth movie?
Josh Levy was one of the writers.
Okay, I didn't know that.
they were like, is there like he was trying to kind of the questioner was trying to kind of like imply that they're like maybe take place in the same universe or whatever. Like, is there a through line between Titan AE and Firefly? His answer was like, there's not even like a clear through line through Titan AE. Like
I've never seen Titan AE, but the main thing I remember about that movie is that when we were kids, we had it on video and never watched it.
nice. Hang on, let me make sure I'm not talking out my ass here.
I don't know anything about it.
Joss Whedon. Screenplay by Joss Whedon. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm like, was it Titan AE or was it like a different like sci-fi animated movie from like the? Yeah, because there were a couple of them.
Yeah, the only
I remember there was Treasure Planet.
that was Disney. Yeah.
There was Titan AE. Yeah.
Yeah. The main thing I remember about Titan AE was that Don Bluth did the animation. I mean, it wasn't just him, obviously, but like he was in charge of the animation.
He did every frame of animation by hand, by himself.
It wouldn't surprise
Took
me, honestly.
73 years to meet Titan AE. He started in 1945, 8 hours a day of inking every frame by hand. And now you just tell, you tell the large language network, the LLM to make it for you.
Can I do Dinadoro at this point? Oh, that's actually fighting Moss on the moon.
It's so much fun to say, Dinadoro.
I think I'm going to do Ret Knight. They actually debuffed this guy.
Who is this?
This is during one of the endgame side quests, where you have to regrow the forest.
Son of Sun?
No, this is Ret Knight.
Okay.
But because they made it so that you can access him at the beginning of the game, they actually debuffed him quite a bit. So you can actually fight him at low levels. And it kind of works out because I actually have Frog and Marl, and they both have their basic water spells. So that's going to give me a bit of an advantage.
I was double checking this. Not only do they blow it up themselves, but also in the remake, Shinra is the one that collapses a section of the plate onto the Sector 7 slums, and Aerith, apparently, because I remember this part, with Aerith's help, they managed to evacuate everybody out of that sector in time. So instead of the plate coming down and killing a whole bunch of people, they just hand waved it. No, they just evacuated.
I can see their parachutes. They're okay.
Exactly. That was another thing when I was playing the game. Like, okay, all right. Like, I get why you did this in 2022 or whatever, but it's lame as fuck.
That's like Funimation, like DBZ bullshit.
Yes.
Too bad it was Sunday. Those buildings would have been so full tomorrow.
Damn, they must not have debuffed.
I don't think that they debuffed these guys. Well...
What the fuck? They hit like trucks.
Yeah, I mean, I can kill them, but like... The problem is that I like...
Not if you missed.
Like, Ret Knight isn't that hard. It's just like getting through this floor. You have all of the sand moving you around, and like these guys show up at like predetermined spots.
Oh.
And like I'll almost always like run into at least 3 of these encounters, and I hate them. I just want to skip.
Unless that's a miss.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Well, luckily this time I actually saved outside. What else?
Well, that's good.
What else can I actually do right now? Because I don't feel like going through that anymore. I might do it later, but
Okay. Can you do anything cool in the present day?
I can do Hecarim Cave. I did borrow the tools, I think. So that's
Also,
marked out.
you did do the tools, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to check the
Does
snail stop.
Oh, good call. Does the fact that you have the chrono trigger open anything for you?
Once I have the chrono trigger, um, and something else, I forget what it is. I think it's like the chrono trigger and the clone and the chrono clone doll. I can unlock the Black Omen with those,
Okay.
and then it's just a question of like rushing through the Black Omen to get to the end. Speaking of which, there's the clone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we just need enough. We just need to save up enough money to get the clone, and it's.
He's like, I've got the best clone in town.
All right. Well.
Oh wow, yeah, no, you can definitely sell stuff. You got enough stuff to sell. Yeah, I would. Why not sell the hurricane? That's a Magus weapon, right?
That is a Magus weapon. I want to see if I can get if I can get Magus in the party or something. I'm not really, because I have the Prism Shard and I can fight Yakra the 13th. I just need levels is pretty much it. Like I don't really need to.
You definitely need to get powered up.
Yeah.
So you can,
I think I can do as long as I can learn some healing spells, because Frog, Marl, and Robo can all learn healing spells.
Yes, that's correct.
So I just
No, you sold the Titan AE belt.
Oh no. Anyway.
Oh yeah, you've got enough now.
Yeah, I can just get that now. All right. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just get the clone. And unless there's something else that I'm missing, that should be go mode after I level up some.
That's crazy.
I would need future access though. So I would need to I think I can do the trial. Because if I can do the trial and I can just like whoop the fucking dragon tank and then go to the future and then I'm in go mode.
Oh yeah, you should be able to beat the dragon tank with this party. I mean,
no
you're
problem.
Level 11 and level 9.
All right, I can talk to you to do the.
Unless they buffed dragon tank.
Oh, I need Chrono to actually do the trial.
Oh,
so I need.
Shit.
I need Chrono for future access. Okay.
Yeah, you can't do the trial without Chrono.
Alright, so where are the other places I can actually get characters? I know that there's one in... There's a couple in prehistory, if I can get there. Because Ayla can spawn in... Yeah, Dactyl Nest. If I can get to the Dactyl Nest, that's a character.
So they're all in the same spots, they're just scrambled up?
Pretty much.
That makes sense.
I don't know how to get to if I do the Mountain of Woe, Mount Woe, would that like put me in a state where I could do the Magus slot?
But I don't know what you're asking me for.
I'm mostly asking myself, like.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, the only two.
I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, the only two places that are apparent for other characters are the Dactyl Nest and Protodome, which is where Robo normally is.
Mm-hmm.
But I need future access to get to Robo. Okay, well, how do I work backwards from that? Is the question. I mean, it looks like I'll either... Let's try Hecarim Cave.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I could probably just go through, like, Ritonite or Dinodoro, but like, I'm paranoid because of my levels.
Yeah, no, I get that. Those are some powerful-ass enemies in there.
I got load vests are pretty good. Maybe some other time. Alright, let's try Hecarim Cave and see what that gets us.
Okay.
Just I gotta remember, like, every enemy in here is susceptible to magic, but, like, super buff to physical attacks.
So I have to focus on using elemental magic.
Yeah. The only problem that's going to be is for Robo. The only one that he has is Shock right now, and that's like half of his MP. Shock is normally the last move that he learns.
Mm-hmm. I have to save that for a special occasion, then.
Yeah, probably when I'm fighting Hecarim. It does a very good amount of lightning damage to all enemies.
What does the Lapis do? I noticed that was like a lot of money when it was offered for sale.
It's a healing item.
Okay, I can't remember these things.
I'm holding on to the Lapises for now until, at the very least, until I learn some healing techs.
What if one of them is Gato's silver coins?
Gato is never in logic.
Silver points.
Gato's not on,
never in logic?
No, Gato's not on the tracker.
That's so sad.
Did you know that in Japanese his name is Gonzalez?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's his Japanese name is Gonzalez. And the song is basically the same. Well, it's kinda-ish. Ted Woolsey took some liberties with the lyrics, but it's basically just like, I am Gonzalez, I am strong, defeat me and you get 15 silver points.
Ed Woolsey taking liberties with a game script?
No, I know.
That doesn't sound right to me. That doesn't sound correct.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're going to be telling me that he's going to be giving accents to people that don't need them. I know people.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have a periodic reminder that, with all the people complaining about like censorship and bad decisions and like modern localization, that even in the '90s, English localization was kind of always a bit shit.
Have you seen Secret of Mana's translation? Official translation?
I have not.
Ted Woolsey did that too. And apparently he had less time to do it than he had with Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI.
This is honestly one of the few. This is something that people keep talking about, and it's honestly one of the few cases where I'm kind of okay with the idea of using AI, of just using it to create like a literal translation of like a Japanese video game.
But even then, like, it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah, no, nothing's going to be.
You're going to use
perfect.
It's going to like leech off of Google Translate basically, and
that's also true. There's all these people, there's all these people now who are like, AI is gonna take the jobs away from all the woke translators who inject their agenda into the games, and I'm like, whatever, but I honestly wouldn't mind just like having even if it was a little bit awkward,
awesome.
Having just like a literal translation of a game, just to like, see what it's like.
To be
I think that would be pretty cool.
To be fair, like, official localizations haven't stopped people from making fan translations anyway.
No, this is also absolutely true.
There's literally a fan translation of Final Fantasy VI, and they changed the spelling of Kefka for like no reason.
There are many fan translations of Final Fantasy VI, as the last time I went on CD Romance to download a ROM of that game showed me. Some fan translations are... There are a small number of fan translations that are really, really good and better than the original, and there are a much, much larger number of fan translations that are very, very bad. It's not something that I would do. Yeah, okay, those things don't respond at all to physical attacks.
Frog's out of MP though. That's why I just realized he has 1 MP left and can't cast.
Yeah.
Do I have MP healing items actually? I do.
I think you do. Yeah, you have ethers.
A couple of them.
Nice.
And I do have shelters now, so once I find, I'll just refill when I find the next save point. It'll be fine. Actually, were you doing more damage? No, you were not.
I would like to point out... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I thought he was doing more damage early. I'm like, is it because I have like the Magma Fist equipped and he's doing like fire damage or something? No, that's not the case at all.
Oh yeah, if you could get one of the like elemental weapons, that would really make the...
There are no elemental weapons.
There's not?
Nope.
Oh, well, I'm stupid then. A Doom Finger? Do you use it in your Doom house?
Doom Finger.
Talking about, just on the last thing I'll say on the subject of translation is just the fact that the most highly regarded and most widely read new translations of all the Russian novels of like the last 30 years are the Pavir Volokonsky translations. And the way that they're made, it's a husband and wife team, Richard Pavir and Larissa Volokonsky. And literally all that they do is she's Russian and she translates the books literally and then gives them to him, and he just makes
localizes it.
He just goes through it and makes it so that there's no like awkwardness in the anything that's awkward in like the grammar or the phrasing gets corrected. And it's not a bad way to do it.
One thing I'll also say about translation these days, I'm really glad that the awkward Hong Kong English translations are like a thing of the past now.
Oh yes,
because they're like I played the Asian English release of Robot Wars T, and it's from what I understand, like the translations are actually done by like native English speaking fans of the series now. So, like, even for something that may not have been released over here, like, they're using, like, the spelling and everything of the names that I'm used to.
Okay. Yeah, my only experience with those sorts of translations was for the,
Sword Art Online.
Yeah, my dumbass, for some reason, I bought one of the Sword Art Online games for the Vita.
I bought the same game.
For like $5.
I bought that same game. I never got far in it.
What is it called?
I don't remember what it's called. It's just like Sword Art Online.
Hollow Fragment.
That's the one.
Hollow Fragment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's it has the whole plot of the game is there's like a section of the game that's outside of the game, like the Hollow Zone or whatever. And I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And it was like $5, and I bought it, and I started playing it, and I'm like, this is the worst translation I have ever seen. Like, it's so bad. It's, the beginning of FF6 where the translation makes it sound like you should attack while the creature's tail is up instead of not attack while the creature's tail is up?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but with every single thing in the game. It doesn't explain shit. Nice.
I was disappointed in that game because I thought that I was going to be able to make my own character and play through the Sword Art Online, starting from the bottom floor, work my way up to the top, and beat the boss at the end. I don't know why I thought that was a thing, because regardless of how I created my character, I was still fucking Kirito, and sure, that made it so that I could go that the game or whatever didn't end like part way through like it did in the anime, but it made it so that like the game still went on, but then there's like all these other characters from like other parts of the anime that I didn't recognize. I mean, I recognized some of them, like, because one was from Alfheim, but like I never watched past season 1 because the last half of season 1 sucked really hard. and I just never bothered like watching the rest of the anime. And I also didn't like Kirito. And I just like I just played the game a bit and I stopped because I'm just like I don't like this.
Yeah, I played the first couple of dungeon floors and it seemed okay, but yeah, the translation was really bad and it just
Like I can't.
it left a bad taste in my mouth. There's actually a version of it now called RE Hollow Fragment that apparently has like
A fixed
a bunch
translation.
of added stuff and an actual good translation, but I just like I'm like
I think that was
this.
the version that was later released on like PS3 or something like that.
That's the version that's on Steam because I've seen it for like during Steam sales for like $5 or whatever. But yeah, no, I don't have any interest in doing that. Oh, nice. His water heals you.
Yeah, she's wearing a
Oh, this is
blue mail. Yeah.
This guy's the boss. He's just kind of hanging out in the back of a cave. It's kind of mean, actually. Like, he was just hanging out. Like, he didn't expect to, like, fight for his life today. He was probably, like,
I
eating
was
some
passing
nachos or some
through.
shit.
I was passing through. Then he walked up to me and said, "Death to the Mystic's enemies," and attacked me. I'm not the bad here.
It's his cave. It's not your cave.
I am defending myself.
Oh, that's not... Yeah, that's, clearly a...
Yeah, that's a bad. Should I forget? Did she get any healing spells other than Life 2? No, she hasn't yet. I should probably use Ice Water. That's actually stronger than what I've been using.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, attack her because she is healed by
Thank you
water.
for healing. Healing, yeah.
Yes, it's the armor she's wearing. She absorbs water.
Nice.
There we go.
It's always fun when you can do that.
Alright.
One of the bosses...
Ooh, Aura Beam.
I think the first big boss I fought in that Toho Artificial Dream in Arcadia game has a special move that she does every few turns where she summons a wave of fire that washes over your team. And I didn't really need to do this, but I wanted to do it. After she beat me the first time, I went back and changed my party composition until every single person in my party was healed by fire spells. So every single time she did that move, it healed my entire party to full. I'm like, every time she's done, I'm like, thank you.
I remember when I was playing through Persona 4, I had a persona on the protagonist that was immune to and it's just the way that I like fused everything together and whatnot. It eventually was like he was immune to physical attacks, fire, and ice. And my party makeup was normally the protagonist, Yukiko, Chie, and Teddy. And then when I got to the boss battle that turns all of your party members against you, it was just they were using nothing but fire, ice, and physical damage, and I was getting hurt by nothing.
Perfect.
It's just
awesome.
how it turned out.
There are so many battles in those games that can be solved that way. Is it Medusa, I think, in Shin Megami Tensei 4? That like
I haven't played far enough into 4.
The accepted way to beat
Giant's
her
Claw,
is it's either her or I don't think it's Minotaur. I think it's Medusa, that all of her attacks are either physical or fire, and it's possible at that point in the game to fuse up a demon that is immune to both fire and physical attacks, and just okay, now you can't lose to this boss anymore because that demon is completely invincible.
Here we go.
That's definitely at the top of my list for things I would like to see Atlas do a re-release, some sort of remaster
SMT4
of SMT4. Yeah, it's too good of a game to be stuck on the DS.
I mean, I still use my 3DS, so I don't mind. Okay, so I've unlocked Giant's Claw now. And I can go in there. I could probably get some really nice levels in there and hopefully not get utterly obliterated by Rust Tyranno.
Yeah, even if you have if you're a little too soft for the boss right now, um, you could definitely do a little bit of leveling in there and use that to, yeah.
At least that'll get rid of my my mental block that I'm putting on fighting any of these bosses.
Yes.
Yeah, I should heal up before going in. I have a power tab I should be using. Okay. I get to hear the cool music. Well, Greg can't, but
You there at home get to hear the cool music.
I get to hear the cool
these
Tyranno music.
These holes, what if I jump in them? What are they? It feels like they're made for me. Oh, a magic tab, nice. So good.
Have you seen the Uzumaki anime?
I have not. I was just thinking that I have not. I have heard not good things. I have heard that the first episode is amazing, and that it feels like they cut the budget like 80% after that first episode.
That's why I was when I found out that it was going to be like an Adult Swim exclusive thing, I got worried because of what happened to the Shenmue anime.
Yeah, I have not seen it to confirm, but I remember seeing people like posting GIFs of like the. Oh wow, that totally killed them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Of the like later episodes in the Uzumaki series, and they just look like not very, very, very on a budget.
I mean, like COVID also affected it, didn't it?
Yeah, of course. Man, that just I mean, it's appropriate for any work based on Junji Ito to be cursed in some way, but it really just feels like they cannot get like a truly good version of Uzumaki out there beyond the
manga.
Beyond the actual manga, which I was about to grab and put in front of the camera, but it's over there on that bookshelf.
I mean, it's I've seen the Netflix series, that was based off of Ito's stuff. And
Yes.
then that was pretty good. So
Yeah, it was.
like just use that production studio to make Uzumaki. Don't put it with fucking Adult Swim where it's going to be canceled because nobody fucking watched it.
Yeah, nobody
Like what
watches
happened
Adult
with
Swim.
fucking Shenmue. And it
It's not 2005 anymore. I'm sorry. Nobody watches Adult Swim anymore.
shit.
Oh shit, that doesn't work.
and it got counterattacks. Oh, okay, that's not too much, but it
Okay.
does confuse them. That's okay, we can get around that.
I'm really sorry. Like, I wish we still lived in the world where Adult Swim was making like really interesting programming, but it's just not a thing anymore. People don't stay up till 2 a.m. watching Cartoon Network anymore. Sorry.
Does water also trigger that?
I hope not.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Oh no, there. That's good.
It still triggers the counterattack, evidently, but
Okay.
it doesn't heal them. Now, what happened with
Actually, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
what happened with the Shenmue anime? because it was going through the same route. It was going through Adult Swim, and it got canceled after its first season.
I was not aware there was a Shenmue anime.
Yeah.
So this is news to me.
So the Shenmue anime was basically like, okay, this is going to be like our second chance to actually have like the whole story be told and actually have some closure here, because there was such because Shenmue 1 and 2 came out. That's one of the reasons why Sega was going bankrupt and went third party, because Yu Suzuki was bankrupting them, making Shenmue. And that's why it took so long for Shenmue 3 to come out, because it wasn't until Yu Suzuki left, made his own studio, got permission to make Shenmue 3 from Sega, and then was able to get the funding for it. And then nobody bought Shenmue 3.
I mean, I eventually bought Shenmue 3, but not at full price, no.
And people were mad about Shenmue 3 too, because they thought it was going to be the end, even though they said, like, time and time again, no, this is not going to be the end of the story. It's just going to be the next part. But it did feel like filler, to be fair. I mean, I still liked it, but
Shenmue 3?
Shenmue 3, yeah. I like all of them, but it is definitely the weakest of the three. But I still liked it. And then, like, now we're at another huge cliffhanger, and Yu Suzuki would like to make Shenmue 4. Everyone, all the fans would like Shenmue 4 to come out, but it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
So they were making an anime. And because it went through Adult Swim after the first season, which ended after the event with the events of the ending of Shenmue 2. We're probably not going to see the ending to Shenmue that way either. Yeah, I need to beef up before going through here.
Yeah. Well, that is a shame.
And I'm just... It breaks my heart because I'm so invested in the story. And I like all the characters and everything. And it's just... Why can't we see it through to the end, like, at all? Like, even if you have...
At least do have it in some other format, yeah. I get it.
Just make a manga or something, like, get...
Yeah, that's what I was... immediately what I was thinking.
And then nobody will buy that either. Fucking... Shenmue fans can't catch a break.
No, I'm sorry.
It also doesn't help that you have folks who are like, well, why are you playing Shenmue anyway? Just Yakuza exists. And
yeah, I have heard that as well.
And that's fair, because Yakuza / Like a Dragon is amazing.
And it definitely has it definitely owes at least a small amount.
Absolutely, it does.
To Shenmue.
Absolutely, it does. Because I'm a Yakuza enjoyer. I actually played Yakuza before I played Shenmue, and I still like both. But it's like, I still want to play Shenmue. I still want to see more of that. All right.
I mean, I would love well, I don't know that I would love a Serenity 2 now. Honestly, I think it's been too long.
I wouldn't. I don't know about that. Especially considering that
there was a time in my life when I would have wanted that. But yeah, no, especially with Joss Whedon. Yeah, no, you can't do that anymore. You'd have to hand it to someone else.
I mean, even if Joss Whedon was up for doing that, like, oh well, never mind. My argument is nullified anyway. I was about to say like not all of the cast is around anymore. Ron Glass passed away some years back, but then I remembered Shepard Book died in the movie anyway.
Yeah, that wouldn't actually be a problem for
future.
And that's actually funny because that is a Firefly is a franchise that while it obviously died in terms of TV and movies, has gone on to have a shockingly long shelf life in terms of comic books and sort of tie-in novels
Yeah, a lot of.
and other media. There's been a lot of those. I didn't realize
There's tie-in
a
comics
year or
for
two
everything
ago.
these days.
A year or two ago, I was in Barnes and Noble, and I noticed that they had like 4 or 5 Firefly novels, and I was like, "These are a thing." And I went on. I haven't actually read any of them. Even I'm not that big of a brown coat, but I went on Amazon and I was like, "Damn, they've written like a lot of Firefly extended universe novels."
I mean,
Holy shit!
I would probably read those if they took place like during the TV show time. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how I would feel about having like another. Oh, here's another franchise where now we're telling their origin story, and I'm like, I don't want to see the origin story. I want to. But the thing is, I also don't want to see what happens after Serenity because Wash and Book are gone, and
that's fair.
I that's kind of why I'm like, I don't know if we can really bring Firefly back or do a Serenity 2, because I saw Wash and Book as like integral characters, and I really don't want to continue with them gone, especially Wash.
The thing is, like the more distance comes between when Firefly happened and the present day, the more I unfortunately have to admit um, that Firefly was only so good because it didn't have any time to get bad.
That's
Um,
fair.
I do not think that they would have been able to keep up the quality that they had if they had had 2, 3, or more seasons. Um,
I don't know, Buffy lasted a
I
while,
just
and that
don't.
was still really popular. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, just even looking at Joss Whedon stuff, that's what I'm saying.
yeah. But we were talking about Adult Swim, and Erin and I were actually talking the other day. She brought up TiVo, and I was like, "Yeah, I didn't have TiVo. What we what we had. I'm so
Oh,
nostalgic for
VCR.
this now. I had a VCR that I would set to like a channel and a time to record. Like if you wanted to watch, C Lab, you could either uh, stay up till 2 in the morning, or you could set your VCR to record it and hope that it worked. Um,
And hope that they didn't
I'm like, no.
change the programming schedule or something like that.
Yes.
Ooh,
And
an
I was
earring.
like, no, I was too poor for TiVo. Like I had a VCR to record shit.
I
And
don't.
now, of course, you just have everything ever all at once,
Yeah, I remember
on demand.
when I was living with my past roommate, he has like the Xfinity on demand stuff, and I remember like recording things on DVR. But like I never really did a lot of VCR like recording ahead of time. I think the one time I did was when they were showing the two Thunderbirds movies. Not the shitty Jonathan Frakes 2000s one, the ones that were actually based off the original TV show. Um, because they were coming on like one of those like cable movie channels, like one of the Stars channels, I think, at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
That's why I set to record because I wanted to see the movies. But I think that's like the only time I really utilized a VCR for that reason.
And that's taking me back. I used to VHS record Aqua Teen and C Lab because I never wanted to stay up for that. And back all the way back when I used to work at Shoney's,
Oh
I
wow.
had a supervisor whose name I am trying to remember and it will not come to me, who used to make copies for me of his VHS copies of Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, Green Team is great.
Yes, that's before we had like access to all of the Mystery Science Theater. He used to tape like he had a bunch of Mystery Science Theater tapes on VHS, and he had taped off TV, and he used to copy those So I had like Puma Man and Overdrawn at the Memory Bank
Mm-hmm.
and Space Mutiny and a couple other ones on VHS from that. Uh, I can't remember his name, but thank you, dude. And you're actually he's actually the dude who um, clued me in, even though I didn't get a chance to watch it for a long time, who clued me into the existence of Farscape and told me that I should
Oh
watch it.
yeah, I watched Farscape
He was a
when that was on
he was a big
Netflix.
Farscape guy. What
Farscape
the hell was
is pretty good.
what the hell was his name?
I don't know. I don't know
He
him.
was a really cool. Yeah, no, he was a really cool manager. You
He's
don't get very many of those when you work in like a shitty chain restaurant.
he was Daniel. That was his prophecy.
Oh, yeah, okay, he was Daniel. Yeah.
Daniel's prophecy was.
Yes, he was.
You can
He
watch
was right though,
Mystery
because
Science Theater.
I remember him telling me back when I used to work like the salad bar, like you need to watch this show called Farscape, and then much later I watched it and I was like, yes, you were right, I did need to watch this.
Yeah, Farscape is one of those shows that like whenever I think of like sci-fi stuff, and I'm always like put on my like my asshole nerd face, and I'm like, Star Trek and Star Wars really aren't that good. Have you seen Farscape? I mean, Stargate SG-1 is like the one I always, because that's my favorite TV show of all time. But like
Oh yeah,
like
no, I know that.
Farscape and Babylon 5, and like those are like ones that I'll like. I like these a lot better than Star Trek and Star Wars. I don't even like Star Wars that much these
TV
days.
show of all time is. I don't know that I have a favorite TV show of all time.
Like whenever I think about it, like the main ones that come to mind are, to me, like Stargate is obvious, or SG-1 is number one, and it's like Breaking Bad, Sopranos, and Airwolf.
It probably is The Sopranos, honestly, now that I think about it. I was just thinking movie, the two that always jump into my head immediately when someone says, what's your favorite movie, are Jurassic Park and Alien.
Those are
very different films to have
I
as your
mean,
favorite film.
those are also very, very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, I know Alien is my brother's favorite movie. I can't think of the word, and it's a very, very simple, like, common word. Like, it makes sense that those would be your favorite movies. They're very good.
Hannibal?
No.
Yeah. Did your brother go see the re-release that was in theaters just recently, like
No.
within the last year?
No.
We did. Aaron and I went and saw it. It was so good. We got popcorn and drinks and got to watch Alien in the theater. It was very cool. I still cannot imagine what it must have been like in like 79 or whatever it was to watch that thing burst out of John Hurt's chest, like in the theater,
Yeah.
having no idea what the fuck was about to happen. I was gonna say though, we're talking about things that had a third. When you're talking about things that had a third installment that wasn't actually the end, but will never get finished. Rest in peace, David Lynch. Because there will never be another season of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I still haven't seen the last. I still haven't seen the last one.
It's kind of a miracle that we got a third season of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And it definitely did not. Not to be super spoiled because I know you haven't watched it, but it's very funny. The third season of Twin Peaks almost. You watch it and you're like, there's no possible way that like they could ever like wrap this up in like a nice neat little bow. And then the next to last episode they kind of do. And I'm like, oh, they are actually gonna like stick the landing and like wrap this up.
They better.
And then the last episode just goes completely off the rails.
Oh.
And is crazy and extremely scary in parts. But yeah, we'll never get another Twin Peaks. Unfortunately, we'll never get another Lynch film.
Yeah, that's sad.
That is sad.
I've only seen like the first. I've seen the first 2 seasons of Twin Peaks, but I never saw Fire Walk with Me, and I never saw the third season.
Without one magic tab, nice. Without getting into it, if you do decide to complete Twin Peaks, you should definitely watch Firewalk with Me before you watch season 3.
I plan on it. I just never found an opportunity to watch it because like the first 2 seasons were on Netflix a couple times, but Fire Walk with Me never was.
Firewalk with Me it was on HBO. I don't know if you have HBO Max.
I don't have HBO Max.
It was on HBO Max
HBMO.
for a really long time. HBMO. You could always just, pirate it. Is it on Tubi? Twin Peaks was on Tubi for a while.
Huh.
Not the new season, but the first two
maybe it's on
seasons were
Pluto TV
Tubi
or something.
for a while. I can check Tubi.
Like everything is on Pluto TV.
I don't know what is Pluto TV.
It's like Tubi basically, but they have like they have on-demand stuff, but they also have like basically TV channels with regular programming. But like some of all the TV channels are usually dedicated to like one show or franchise.
Nice.
Like there is literally like a Stargate channel on Pluto TV that shows nothing but Stargate SG-1 basically.
So it's like the because we have a Samsung Smart TV upstairs, and it has the inbuilt. I think it probably is literally just taking it from that. It has a bunch of pre-built like TV channels, but all of them, a large number of them are like a channel that just plays episodes of the same show over and over again. Like I mentioned, there is a channel that just plays Kitchen Nightmares 24 hours a day.
Well, yeah, that's called YouTube.
Yeah.
But like they have like regular commercial breaks and stuff too.
Yes, and it has like commercial breaks and stuff.
But because that's how I watched Pluto TV a lot a few years back because a few of the channels are owned by Shout Factory.
Okay.
And they actually have a channel dedicated to like tokusatsu stuff. So they're showing like series of like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider and Ultraman that they have the rights to distribute.
Nice. Yeah, you said Shout Factory, and I immediately thought, they have an MST3K channel.
And a friend of mine told me like, they're gonna start showing Kamen Rider Kuga on Pluto, and I'm like, and that's how I first started watching because Kuga was one of the few I hadn't seen yet, and that I really wanted to, and I watched it as it came out, and it was like is it Sunday night? I can watch the next 4 episodes of Kamen Rider Kuga, and like that was like I felt like I was a kid again, honestly.
Aww, I love it.
And it was during.
I'll have to look into Pluto.
And it was a good time too because that was during COVID.
Yeah, COVID was weird, man.
And I'm like, what year is it?
Tubi is so good, and honestly, the one thing that used to be bad about it isn't even bad anymore. Like, it's funny to me because the whole thing with Tubi used to be like, this streaming is free, but it has ads. But now, like, every fucking streaming service has ads.
Even if you
like
pay
Netflix
for
has ads.
Even if you pay for not ads, it'll still put ads up. And they'll send, yeah, well, I mean, some of them do. Like, I got an email from Hulu or something like that a couple days ago saying that, some of this stuff that even if you paid for no ads, we're still going to put some ads up here and there. Just letting you know.
Amazon Prime does that with some of their...
They do that now too, yeah.
Yeah, they do it with their flagship shows or whatever. I think it's just, even if you have ad-free, it plays the ads, like, before the show. And I'm like, that is so fucked.
Not if you have ad blocker a lot of time, but...
Why would I not just watch Tubi? Like, if I'm gonna watch ads anyway, why wouldn't I just fucking watch Tubi, which doesn't, charge anything? And why wouldn't I just watch it with
ad blocker?
Brave blocking the ads. or Firefox with uBlock Origin. Just don't do it with Chrome, because Google blocked all of that ad blocker shit, which is incredible. Made the internet so much worse on Google Chrome. It's really sad.
That's why I don't use Google Chrome. I use Brave.
But everything is being enshittified. I actually, this is funny, as a writer, I have stopped using Microsoft Word. I had the subscription to Microsoft Word that came with the cloud backup on OneDrive. Microsoft has changed the name of Office 365 to Office Copilot 365.
Oh, that's the one that adds the AI in there, and you can't turn it off.
Integrated AI bullshit into it. Well, you can turn some of it off, but you can't turn it off on the Mac version. And even when you do, there is this little AI thing that follows you on like the left side of the screen as you're typing, so you can like click it whenever you want. And occasionally, even if you're not doing anything, I'm like typing, even if you're not doing anything, it'll pop up with fucking suggestions, like Clippy, to like rewrite this. And I'm like, I can't use this program anymore. Like, I've been using Microsoft Word since Office 2003.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna cancel this. Like, fuck this shit. Like, right now I'm using, I have LibreOffice and a program called OnlyOffice, which is made by Latvians. And they're working. I've considered, what did I say I was going to consider? I'm going back and forth on whether I want to, should I be talking about this on YouTube? Nobody's going to watch. No, nobody is going to narc on this anyway. I've been considering whether I want to pirate an older version of Microsoft Word and use that. But yeah, no, I was one of those weirdos who actually subscribed to like the Microsoft Word package, because guess what? Tax time, I just file it as a business expense anyway. But yeah, not anymore.
This might hurt. Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, a bit.
Not cure beam or a beam. There we go.
I legitimately do not know what Microsoft is doing. The last couple of years, I don't think they know what they're doing.
Well, they're a major corporation. Of course, they're out of touch with their consumers.
I mean, they've been, for the last few releases, ever since Vista, I would honestly say, they've been trying to push more and more with the ads and you click your button and click your little home button and ads pop up and shit like that. But the stuff they've been doing with Windows 11, it's just on another level, man. It's so bad.
I have Windows 11, but that's only because it came with the computer. I don't use Office or anything like that. I'll use Notepad if I want to write stuff down, and then for spreadsheets, I have an open I have LibreOffice, which is an open source thing. But that's the thing with how these these companies are, is that it seems and it's incredibly obvious. I don't even know why I need to state it, but back in the day, it was they would you'd think that they were listening to what their consumers wanted and marketing to that, but now they're just telling the consumers what they want, and they're coming out with whatever, and then because you know that they're going to buy it anyway. If that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense to me. I feel like Microsoft has always been evil.
Yeah.
But they used to be smart.
Well,
they used to at least be smart and competent evil.
They
now.
Well, they don't have to
they're
be
being run by stupid people.
Well, they don't have to be smart anymore, because people are just going to buy whatever no matter what.
Well, they don't even buy it. Like you said, you have Windows 11 because it came
Well,
on
that's
your
because
computer.
I'm smart.
Well, no, I'm not making any
uh,
value
uh,
judgments on you. I'm saying 90,
I say I'm
95,
smart.
95, probably 99% of the people who buy a computer and it comes with Windows on it, they don't even think of, exchanging the Windows for some other operating system.
That's fair. I mean, I liked using Linux. The only thing I didn't like about Linux was that it wasn't compatible with anything. But I bought this computer from our friend Tim,
Okay,
and
awesome.
he had put Windows 11 on it, and
Sure.
before I bought it from him. And that's the reason I was there. So, oh, I can actually use Steam and stuff now.
Yeah.
That's literally the only. I mean, obviously, also it's a pain in the ass for me to go out of my way to install a new OS.
Sure. I totally get that. Like, if you're, for the vast majority of users, like, the overwhelming, like, not you obviously, but like the overwhelming majority of users who just do, like, are the sort of people who mostly just do shit on their phones, would be fine with a Chromebook. You know, the overall majority of users probably use their Windows desktops, laptops as bootloaders for Google Chrome anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, with the Steam stuff specifically, uh, you know, it depends on your distro. Some of them are really good for it. Some of them are not so good for it. Particularly if you have an NVIDIA graphics card.
Which
Um,
I think I have. I'd have to double check. I actually upgraded my
most of
computer recently.
most of the Debian-based distros like Ubuntu, Mint, um, are pretty good these days with NVIDIA. Um, I actually have
No,
my
I have AMD
desktop.
now. I'm sorry.
My desktop is over on my writing desk is actually running Fedora with the KDE desktop environment, and that does not play nice with NVIDIA at all. That's like one of the only issues I really have with it. But it doesn't really matter because I don't play any Steam games on that desktop.
That's what you use your Steam Deck for these days.
I just use it to write. Yeah, I use my Steam Deck to play Steam games. Uh,
Yeah. Because I think I have an AMD is. Yeah, Gigabyte was the one who made my current motherboard.
yeah.
I had to like replace my motherboard, and I upgraded everything because back in November my computer died.
Yes.
So I had to I got a new motherboard and a new graphics card and a new memory and pretty much everything, and Ian helped me put it back together. And like the only thing that I still have from my older setup is like my case
Mm-hmm.
and like my capture card.
Can I just say how funny it is that random encounters before this were giving you 750 experience, and fighting that boss only gave you 500 experience?
Yeah, I
That's
overestimated Ma
fucked.
Sun Moon. I shouldn't have been too.
Nervous about it. Oh, the
Or,
jerky! We got jerky!
I forget what the jerky's for.
We got
Oh,
movie sign!
I know what the jerky's for.
Okay. I just think that's really funny. You defeated these two legendary creatures and got beef jerky.
That's what the snail stop normally sells is the jerky.
Nice.
That's what that is on the tracker, right? That's the jerky. Yes, it is. Okay. That doesn't really unlock anything for me though, unfortunately. Like I can do this. Is it the Elder's house? Yeah, I can give it to her. And then I can basically get the Moonstone check from the present. But it's not coming up on my tracker, so I don't know if it's the tracker, like if they haven't updated it.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't pop up on there, so I'll just see what this gives me. Hopefully a way to get to...
The future.
Oh, it's just a prism dress. Well, Marl can have the prism dress. That's like the best defensive item
Nice.
for
Yeah, that's like
female
the best
characters.
one. Future events such as these will affect you in the future.
I can try Yakra the 13th.
Okay. Can you without Chrono?
Oh no, I can't do the trial and fight the dragon tank without Chrono. But
Okay.
I have the prism shard, so I can do the Yakra the 13th, the second trial
Okay.
with the king.
Cool.
So I think I have to talk to him with how do I trigger that event? Do I just go down there?
Not sure.
No, it's not even in place. I think I have to go through Giant's Claw.
Okay.
Because once I trigger the finding the rainbow shell flag, then in the future it'll have the courtroom off to the side, and I can do the. Or no, hold on. I think I might have just been looking in the wrong place. Hold on. I swear I'm familiar with this rando. I've done it many times.
Totally fair. Oh, more ethers are very welcome.
Yeah. Okay, that's where the chancellor is. Okay, yeah, I think I do have to do Giant's Claw.
As far as Linux goes, I know a lot of people have been talking about the fact that the official end of support life for Windows 10 is coming up, and that there are a lot of people still clinging to Windows 10, and that this might be a big moment or whatever. I don't really think that's going to happen. I do think the one thing that could really push mass adoption of Linux as a platform would be an official desktop release of SteamOS.
Yeah.
I do think that could move the needle some. I don't really see the end of support for Windows 10 really pushing many people off of Windows.
Or at least not necessarily feeling the need to upgrade to 11 or whatever might come afterwards.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people that don't like 11.
I'm one of them.
I know.
It's not the, it's a death by 1,000 cuts thing. There are so many little things about 11, particularly in comparison to 10, that just piss me off. Like the number of times you have to right click and open up a second contextual menu to do things like copy a file from one folder to another, or to rename a file.
Yeah.
There's a thing you can right click and copy and paste a link to a file, but to actually paste a copy of a file, you have to go into another contextual folder. And it's like, why do I need to do this? If you've had to add a click for something as basic as copy-paste, like, you fucked your user interface design.
Yeah.
Like, completely.
Probably could have done that the first time I tried to come home through here.
There you go. Nice. Man, that was 900 experience points.
Ooh,
awesome.
Robo got Uzi Punch.
Nice. Okay, here comes another one.
These guys aren't as bad.
Mohavar. Mohaver. They have Mo. Okay, they're dead.
Alright, here's where we want to be. Just grab things on the way to the boss. If it'll...
Oh, he got speed. He got...
time to cook.
Blackmail.
Yes, Absorb Shadow.
Oh, nice.
Hyper Ether, that's good.
That is good.
Slasher 2 would be great if I had Chrono. I think that's probably better than... Yeah. Shit, that's like better than what either of you have. Okay.
Nice. Okay, upgrades all around.
Another power tab. I should use those tabs. More power for Robo, more speed. Let's get the speed this frog. I know that it doesn't take much speed to max. Max speed that you can get it with any character is 16.
Okay. Oh, hello. Oh my god, he's a palette swap.
Where is...
See, kids, Elden Ring did not invent palette swap bosses.
People are saying Elden Ring invented palette swap bosses?
No, I'm just joking about...
Oh.
Oh, shit. I'm just joking about the number of palette swap bosses in Elden Ring, and a lot of people complained about that.
So have you played any Final Fantasy game?
To be fair, there are...
Dragon Quest?
I want to say there are more bosses by like an order of magnitude in Elden Ring than in any other Souls game, just because of how big it is. Let me check. Bosses in Elden Ring. Yeah, the base game of Elden Ring has 238 bosses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a lot.
But it's like all bosses. Like the entire game is bosses, isn't it?
Yeah, it only has 16 main story bosses. There are 13 optional bosses required to earn achievements or trophies, and then all the other bosses are basically like every little like temple that you stumble upon, and like all of those things. Every one of those like fighting ring things that are guarded by the little towers of balls that look like the things from Mario Brothers has a boss in it, and a lot of them are just palette swaps of. While the original Dark Souls has 26 bosses, so 22 bosses and 4 in the DLC. I didn't count the DLC for Elden Ring, so yeah, that is an order of magnitude. That's 10 times the number of bosses. So you can't really expect them all to be clever, unique bosses when there are 200 of them.
It's not like it's Shadow of the Colossus and there are only like the 16.
Right. A lot of them are just, here's that lion guy you fought again, except this time he's on fire, I don't think I even fought like a quarter of the bosses in Elden Ring when I played it.
I don't think I've still played, like, unless you count Stranger Paradise. I still haven't played any Souls games or Souls likes.
I don't know if Strangers of Paradise is a Souls-like.
It's basically like the Final Fantasy version of Nioh.
Okay.
It was made by the same people who made Nioh.
Well, Nioh is definitely a Souls-like.
Okay, well then I have played a Souls-like.
I have played Nioh. I have not beaten Nioh. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It felt a lot like Dark Souls. Parts of it felt less Dark Souls than like Ninja Gaiden, honestly, like the old Xbox Ninja Gaiden games, which are apparently coming back, and they're making a new one.
Yeah, they're making a new one. I'm not a huge Ninja Gaiden fan. I played the original NES one on Nintendo Switch Online with save states. And the only reason I was familiar with it as I was because I have so many friends who speedrun it And I've watched them do their speedrun grinding for it, and it's all the time when you're grinding something.
Yeah. The only game I've ever tried to speedrun was DuckTales for the NES. And once I got it in under 10 minutes, I was pretty satisfied with that.
The only one I've speedrun and not have a meme is Astro Rabby, and that was... Well, I mean, it's February now, so I still don't know what I'm doing with the Astro Rabby February thing. But I'm just like, I'm not really in the mood to play it right now.
I get that.
I guess it depends on what Jangle wants to do. He hasn't said anything about it, but like if he hypes it up enough, I might. But we're like the only two runners of the game, and like it's an auto scroller where RNG determines like the end of the stage.
Okay.
And I got my sub 20 last year, and that was good enough at the time. But like, I'm not really in the mood to play it right now.
Makes sense. I totally get that. And you shouldn't have to push yourself. I mean, it's a video game.
Yeah, I mean, there are still like a handful of other games that I wanted to speedrun, like Final Fantasy Adventure, Castlevania 4. It's just I'll get around to it when I get around to it.
Nice. The world record for DuckTales has not changed. It actually changed by about 1/10 of a second 15 days ago, but the previous record was set 5 years ago. It's 7 minutes and 7 seconds. It's apparently the world record for DuckTales. So 10 minutes is nowhere, like 9 minutes and like 57 seconds or whatever I did is nowhere close, but faster than most people could beat DuckTales. What the hell?
That's Robo.
What was that thing hanging out in the...
That's Robo.
That's Robo?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the story, when you beat Retinite, you talk to the lady there, and she wants to rebuild the forest, but it'll take centuries. So Robo's like, I'm a robot, and I can live for centuries.
Oh, right.
Except it's the rando, so Robo doesn't actually leave my party.
Okay.
And then here's where, and it doesn't do the campfire scene, so this is where I get my check.
Okay, cool. I forgot about this. I don't think I did like any of this, any of like the optional stuff in the Super Nintendo when I originally played it. Bent Hilt.
That's
Is that for Masamune?
That's part of the Masamune, yeah. I don't think we're going to be getting the Masamune.
I don't think I did all the optional stuff until the DS release of Chrono Trigger.
Alright, well the only place I can go now is Giant's Claw, so...
Alright. Best of luck.
Allons-y.
Allons-y!
I could always try just kind of like... I say I could always try avoiding the encounters, but like they're invisible, like their trigger marks, their points are invisible on the map.
I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Don't fight the enemies. Brilliant.
What level am I now? I'm like 21. I think for the rando, that's okay to fight Rust Tyranno.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
If I can get to Rust Tyranno. Because they did
okay.
They basically made it so that you can beat the game at like level 40-ish.
Okay.
And the way that things are going now, once I clear Giant's Claw, then I'll be able to go through the trial, beat Dragon Tank, get future access, go to Death Peak, bring up the Black Omen, and by the end of Black Omen, where I fight Queen Zeal and win the game, I should be level 40 by that point.
Cool. Sounds like you've got a plan.
I do.
Also, that fight was a lot easier than it was last time you were here.
Yeah, I've killed a couple of bosses since then, so that probably helps. Monkey.
And now it's the Minkies. Human man.
I don't know what that reminded me of, like a joke that I saw one time. I don't know if I don't remember if I came up with it. It was fairly recently. I don't remember if I came up with it or if I saw it somewhere and told people and they thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think I came up with it one time when I was talking with people in like voice chat, and it's like Harry Potter and Die Hard are basically the same movie. Because the
Which Harry Potter?
probably like one of the first ones.
Okay, the first one. Okay.
Because the protagonist is sneaking around a tower, trying to avoid Alan Rickman. And I brought that up at the Kava bar, and people thought it was fun. It was still in the voice chat, and then I was like, somebody else came up with it, and I'm like, then I said, I did my shitty Alan Rickman voice, and I said, minus 10 points, Mr. Cowboy.
Nice. Now I have an invisibility cloak. Ho ho ho.
I think I did a variation of that too.
That's awesome. Good shit.
It still sucks. I mean, I know Alan Rickman passed away years ago, but it still sucks.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that the other day when David Lynch died, that like all of the people that I like idolized and based my like media so many of them, not all of them, but so many of the people that I like idolized and based my media preferences around have died in the last few years.
Well,
like specifically like the last 5 years or so.
I mean, all the stuff. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, okay. Gene Wolfe died.
Okay.
Gord Downey died.
Right.
Cormac McCarthy died. David Lynch died.
Neil Peart died.
Neil Peart died. Like if like Stephen King better be looking over his shoulder, man.
God.
Like this is not good.
I forgot who the Silver Rock was for. Because Frog Marl and Robo is actually the Gold Rock. And I actually have to have the upgraded Masamune for that. I don't want to go that way.
Oh no, that's a shortcut back the way you came.
Yeah. I can almost never find... I think this is actually the way to the... Yeah, here we go.
It's just weird because I remember being like, man, in the past, I remember being like, man, I'm going to be so bummed when, like, Gene Wolfe dies, or, like, man, it's going to be a sad day when David Lynch dies. And, like, now all of those things have happened. It's just a weird feeling.
Here's hoping David Cronenberg still has some left in him.
Hell yeah.
I saw The Brood recently.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's a Cronenberg movie. It's basically the way I would describe it is it's kind of like Videodrome, but instead of a paranormal TV program, it's a paranormal like psychic, right? Like not psychic, psychologist treatment.
Okay, psychiatric treatment.
Psychiatric treatment. Thank you.
No problem.
And instead of James Woods taking a gun out of his stomach vagina, it's the the actress like
I
basically
love that fucking movie.
the main like actress lady asexually gives birth to mutant murder children.
Sounds awesome.
It was I enjoyed it, but
Actually, I'm looking around trying to find it. One of the rarest books that I own is I found in a thrift store ages ago and did not realize that it was like, it's not worth like a lot of money. I've seen it go for like $100 online, but only if it's in like mint condition. Is the novelization of Videodrome.
I read about that. I mean, I don't. There were like some. Was it a novelization or was it like a novel, another story that took place in the same universe?
No, I think it is an. I've read part of it, and it seems it is a novelization. I think
Because I remember, like, I either read about that or you told me about that when I saw Videodrome for the first time.
You're thinking of Blade Runner.
No, I'm thinking of Videodrome.
Okay. Because Blade Runner had books. Blade Runner had a sequel.
Blade Runner was based
Blade
off.
Runner
was based off a book, though.
Yeah, no, it's bizarre. So Blade Runner is based off a story by Philip K. Dick.
Right.
And then the cyberpunk writer K.W. Jeter wrote a sequel to Blade Runner called Blade Runner 2: The Edge of Human. That is like, I own that too. It's somewhere around here. But that's not where, that's like, you find those all over the place. And that's, yeah, it's bizarre, because it's like, what? Like, it's not authorized by, like, Ridley Scott or anything like that. Or I guess they got permission or whatever, but it's not like, this is, like, what we intended to happen in a sequel to Blade Runner.
And then Blade Runner got a theatrical sequel anyway.
Yeah, there you go. It's just some guy took the universe and decided to run with it and do his own thing. Did I get that right? Yeah, K.W. Jeter, Blade Runner 2: The Edge of Human, from 1995.
I still need to, like, properly watch Blade Runner.
I love Blade Runner.
I quote-unquote saw it one time. It was on Netflix, I think. It wasn't the director's cut. It was evidently it was the bad version. And also,
you watched the bad version.
Also, it was less I watched it and more it was on in the background while I was playing Twilight Princess on the Wii U.
Okay, fair enough.
But I do want to, like, you know, actually watch the movie at some point, because there's a lot of movies that have, like, turned out that way where, like, it's just off in the background and I haven't actually watched it. And I mean, there was like a couple of James Bond movies that were like that. Like one of the Timothy Dalton ones. I haven't seen the Timothy Dalton Bond movies, really.
There are definitely a couple of Bond movies that I've, like, half-watched. Because there was a time, I watched a few of them a while back, because there was a while where on Max, the HBO Max, they had all of the James Bond movies on there for a while. And I ended up just having them on in the background while I was doing stuff for a while.
Because I haven't seen the Dalton ones, and I haven't seen any of the Craig ones past Casino Royale. But, like, I've seen all of the other ones at some point, and, like, the main ones that are still, like, fresh, like, I've seen recent enough to still be, like, I remember, like, details about them, are, like, Goldfinger, but that was also because, I mean, that's also partially because earlier today I was watching a long play video of somebody playing the Goldfinger mod for GoldenEye.
I didn't know that guy could run away, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're like the metal slimes of the game.
Goldfinger mod for GoldenEye.
So that's how I remember as much as I do about Goldfinger. A lot of the Roger Moore movies, because Roger Moore is my favorite Bond. I remember On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and, like, GoldenEye. But I do remember like the other Pierce Brosnan movies sucked.
Yeah, the Pierce Brosnan movies were
Like
not very good.
he had Goldeneye. Goldeneye was great. Um, and then Tomorrow Never Dies was okay, and then the other two were just not.
Yeah, uh, Pierce Brosnan definitely had the the highest
Ah, shit.
ratio of like good Bond to like bad movie. Because there's nothing wrong with Pierce Brosnan's James Bond. It's
No,
just the movies that he was in sucked.
except for Goldeneye.
Yeah, Goldeneye was good. What was the one with? Oh god, what was the one with Halle Berry
Die
and
Another
like
Day.
the TV, the evil TV magnate guy? Yeah, that movie
That
was terrible.
the TV magnate movie guy was Tomorrow Never Dies. I
Tomorrow Never Dies.
I kind of liked that one.
I'm confused. Was that the one with?
That was one with
Richards?
that was the one with Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
Um,
What was the one where she was in it and her name was like Christmas? It was like the stupidest shit.
Denise Richards. That was The World Is Not Enough. That one sucked.
Oh yeah,
and
that one's
Halle
I saw that one in the theaters and was mad
And
that I saw it in the theater.
and Halle Berry was in Die Another Day, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. People give George Lazenby crap. Even though, like, On Her Majesty's Secret Service was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, I feel like there are a few. There's a couple of Bonds that have been in that Pierce Brosnan sort of milieu where like they're not bad. It's just the Bond movies that they're in are not the best Bond movies.
And the funny thing is, like, Roger Moore was in that position a lot. But I actually like those movies. Like, Moonraker is my favorite Bond movie, and it's just fucking off the wall.
I would much rather a Bond movie be bad in an interesting way, like some of those Roger Moore movies, than that they be competent but boring, which is my problem with most of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. They're perfectly competent, they're perfectly fine, and they're boring as shit.
Okay, I wanted to go this way.
Sorry, go ahead. You were talking about Roger Moore.
But yeah, Roger Moore has a lot of, like, really, like, the ones that people don't like because they're too silly, like Moonraker or A View to a Kill. And, like, those two are, like, among my top 5. Because Moonraker has, and it's because of the silliness, and because Moonraker is it has the hovercraft gondola and the laser space battle at the end.
Yes.
And A View to a Kill is basically Goldfinger, but Christopher Walken's the bad guy.
I don't know that I've seen A View to a Kill. I've definitely seen Moonraker.
A View to a Kill.
That movie is Gonzo. It's awesome.
A View to a Kill is Christopher Walken is a really rich guy who manufactures microchips, but also like hoards the ones that he makes. And then his evil plan is to flood Silicon Valley so that other people can't make microchips, and then he's like the sole distributor of microchips. So it's kind of like Goldfinger, but like
with computer chips instead
but
of
with computer chips
gold bullion.
and Christopher Walken, yeah.
I was like a teenager when I first started watching the James Bond movies, and I remember being really impressed with the twist in Goldfinger.
Because I think that the twist was that like he was going to irradiate the gold and not steal it, right?
Right. The whole movie, but James is trying to figure out, how is he going to steal all of the gold in Fort Knox? And the twist is, he's not. He's not going to steal the gold in Fort Knox. He's going to make the gold in Fort Knox worthless so that his gold becomes worth, dozens of times more than it was.
Yeah. And I think that I haven't read any of the novels or anything, but like from what I understand, like in the novels he was just gonna rob Fort Knox.
Uh, I don't know. I've read a
That's just
couple of
from
the James Bond novels, but I read them like
I'm
at least 15 years ago.
like I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really interested in reading the novels.
I wasn't a big fan. Like I said, I can't really remember, but I don't remember being super impressed with the James Bond books that I read. I know I read Doctor No. That's the first one, I think.
That's the first movie.
Not sure.
The first book was Casino Royale.
Okay. I don't think I've read Casino Royale actually.
I think Casino
I've read a
Royale,
few of them.
like a production of Casino Royale, was the first Bond movie technically, but it was also a parody, and Bond was played by Peter Sellers. But because it's not part of like the main the Eon Productions produced series that
Mhm.
are considered like the main ones. It's like when they when there was that one company or the group of people that got the rights to Thunderball. So because of like some like contract loophole, and they basically made Thunderball again as Never Say Never Again, and it had Sean Connery in it, but like it didn't count because it wasn't part of the main series, and also the main series, because of the rights kerfuffle, couldn't use Spectre as bad guys.
Okay.
But the
Why
funny,
does your health keep ticking down?
the roar gives me puts sap on me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, go ahead. You're talking James Bond.
But yeah,
I
they
was
had the
thinking
rights to,
Spectre.
and the funny thing is they had the rights to Spectre, but they didn't really have the rights to Ernst Blofeld. And like
Mhm.
at the beginning of Never Say Never Again, like Ernst Blofeld is there, and like Bond kills him or something, but like his name is never mentioned. He's just like the head of Spectre.
He's Eddie B, the head of Spectre. Uh-oh, here we go.
Okay, we're fine.
Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. It's half your health.
I'll just do the full heal. But now I don't have a
Nice.
full heal, but I have good heals, like this one.
Beautiful. Yeah, you should be okay with this fight unless there's like something we haven't seen yet that's real bad.
I mean that can be
Like
crappy,
like
but
like eating one of your party members. Like doing it again. Like killing your party
it's okay.
member.
She had an item that gave her re-raise, so it's fine.
Nice.
Oh, good.
There we go. Not bad at all.
Thing is, I don't know if I can get to and rush through the Black Omen in a short period of time. Well, there's the gate key.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean, gate key technically gives me prehistoric access, but oh, right, because I need Chrono.
Right.
So now that I have prehistory access, I think Chrono is going to be at the Dactyl Nest.
Okay, cool. Have they decided who the next James Bond is going to be yet?
I haven't followed that, so I don't know. I remember one time Ian was talking, my brother, I think he saw the last movie.
No Time to Die.
I think so. Or he had heard about it and that there was like um, a woman of African descent in it who he was under the impression that they were trying to like make her like gonna be the next protagonist of the series or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I was going to say, like, there's been plenty of women of African descent in Bond movies. There've been black Bond girls before.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a rumor going around that there was that the next James Bond was going to be a black woman somehow, and like James Bond was just like a code name. Like, no, James Bond is like the guy's actual name.
Yeah,
But then,
yeah,
but it's like okay, so you want to be progressive and you want to have a black James Bond. That's fine. You can still make it a black guy. Make him Idris Elba.
yeah. No, exactly.
I would be.
I think he's a little bit. He's kind of a little bit too old at this point.
I don't know,
Like,
man.
but like 10 years ago, I think everybody was.
I
saying,
would still be
like,
on.
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
I would still be on board with Idris Elba as James Bond. I think that would be.
Oh,
that'd be fantastic.
110%, absolutely. You know, I have no. Yeah, I don't care what race James Bond is. I do kind of. It would. I feel like making James Bond a woman would. Oh, it's in the pantry.
Yep.
I forgot about that. I feel like making James Bond a woman changes things to the point that you might as well just go with a new character.
Right.
Yeah.
Water too. Just gonna scoot through this real quick. I think I might. Once I check the Dactyl I think I might cut it there, and then maybe we can finish this next time. I know that we're not getting right back to Cuphead, but even though we've been gone for like a month, but it's whatever. I do still want to finish Cuphead. I'm just not really in the mood to play Cuphead right now. Also, my Switch isn't hooked up.
Fair enough. It's a difficult game. It takes a lot of.
It's more along the lines of like
focus.
Because like I haven't been like 100% focusing while playing Cuphead, but I was still having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the paradox with me and Cuphead is that it's a hard game, but like it doesn't make me angry when I fail. And there are like plenty of other games that I played that make me angry when I fail. So I don't know.
I try not to play games that make me angry anymore.
Yeah.
I don't play Dead by Daylight anymore because I used to like, yell at the TV when absolute bullshit would happen in the middle of a match. I have no problem with. I like games where when you lose, it's completely on you. Like when something is deterministic.
Yeah.
Something like I hate to always be on about this game, but something like Slay the Spire. When I lose, I can 100% tell you, what I did wrong. I can look back and go, yeah, I should have, rested at that campfire instead of gambling that I could upgrade a card instead and make it to the end of the act without that health.
Oh yeah, I feel in Balatro all the time, and like it doesn't make me angry at all. It's just like I just like have fun playing the game.
Oh, Balatro's awesome.
I know I've said it before, but I'm so glad that it's getting like the attention it deserves now.
Oh, absolutely. It is such a good game. I'm glad that it's making local Thunk a lot of money. Yeah.
I haven't played it. I don't think I've played it since we last played it on here. But like, it's still a game I can, just pick up and play every now and again.
We've got like 20 hours or more in it, according to your Nintendo profile. I was looking at everybody's Nintendo profile last night after, because Aaron and Cooper and I played
Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
Not the new one. We just got the new one today. We played. I think that's why they ended up buying it.
You played one of the N64 ones?
We played Mario Party 3 last night.
Okay.
And it was that was absolute rat bastard. It was the three of us and computer Donkey Kong. And
it's always weighted toward the computer.
both my wife and my son had 1 star at the end. I had 2 stars, and Donkey Kong had no stars. And Donkey Kong got all 3 of the bonus stars and won the game. And all of us were like, what the fuck? That's absolute bullshit.
I remember one time specifically I had a particularly good time playing Mario Party. And it was because all 4 players were human players.
Yeah.
Because it was the time that I was at your house, and I don't know if somebody brought their N64 over, and I brought over Mario Party. Because it was you.
What's this?
This was your.
Which house was this?
The one in Midlothian. But this was years ago. But it was you, me, Aaron, and Brian.
Okay.
And we were all playing.
And we all played on the N64.
And we played on the N64. I think you either got like a used N64 or Brian got an N64. It's Luca?
Well, we have a... Oh, shit, it is Luca. We have an N64, so... That we probably used our N64. What the fuck?
Okay, this might complicate things. That's not Go mode. Okay. How do I have Mount Woe access? I don't know. Right. So yeah, the places I can go now are Reptite Lair and Mount Woe. I forgot how to get there from here, outside of going through a place I don't actually have access to.
Okay. I'm assuming having Luca in your party doesn't do anything for you. In terms of opening up new shit.
Not really. Well, evidently I can go to the end of time. That might be it. I think that's what that means, because I can go to the end of time now through a gate.
Okay.
And I can access the Dark Ages from there.
Is there anything at the end of time you can access?
I can talk to.
Is there anything you can get, like item-wise, in the end of time? I can't remember.
Normally, if I talk to Specchio there, I can unlock my magic, but because of the flags I have set, I have magic unlocked from the start, so that's not really going to do anything.
That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking that magic would just be a random item, essentially, that upgrade or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's something.
I could try it, but I don't think that's a thing in the rando.
I doubt it. Now that you've mentioned that you have magic on by default, I doubt it's a thing. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's weird. Yeah, I don't remember the Mario Party hangout.
But,
was this before Cooper was born?
It wasn't before Cooper was born, but Cooper was little, I believe.
Okay, because I'm like, if we were living in the place in Midlothian, then that was after Cooper was born.
It was definitely after Cooper was born, but he wasn't like.
We were living in the place. Did you ever come to the condo that we used to live in Henrico, right up by the hospital? That's where we were living when Cooper was born. That's where his OG nursery was.
The apartment near Staples Mill?
Yes.
Yeah, I've visited there plenty of times.
Yeah, that was a really nice apartment, actually.
I can remember
was like the nicest apartment that we lived in of all the
because that was like
the apartments we lived in.
That was not too long after you got married, I think, and you had the dog for a little while.
Yes. Oh, Hera. Yeah, rest in peace, Hera. Yeah, no, we lived. God, we originally moved in together in Gumby. Did you ever come to Gumby? It was called Gumby. It was called Nightmare House occasionally.
I was there once.
That was the
For
house in Richmond, like in the slums.
Yeah, I was there
Across from
once.
the postal service, the post office.
Oh, oh no, that was that was a different house. That's where you were living with like Patrick and Haley.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
that
been
was
there a
the
couple
original
times.
place. That was the first time I'd ever been out of my parents' house. Yeah, that's where. And then we lived in Church Hill, in
Because I know that
the
there was like a
second floor of that house.
yeah, I remember being there a few times. That's where I actually met Patrick and Haley.
That's where we used to have Game of Thrones nights.
Um,
And then we lived in that really awful apartment in um, in Henrico that was near the condo we eventually moved into. That was the one where
I remember that as well.
you and Brian came over when Aaron's family members were over, and we all watched Manos.
Yes,
Uh,
I remember that.
that's where you showed me Stargate SG-1 for the first time.
I was also the apartment I think where I showed you Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Yes, yes, it is. And that was were you there when we watched The Mist? I remember we had a movie night. We watched The Mist.
That was in the condo.
That was in the that was in the condo.
That was in the condo, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm wrong then.
Um, I,
Okay.
I remember because I remember the condo. I remember there was like a house that you and Aaron briefly lived in that was haunted or something in Colonial Heights.
In Colonial Heights, yeah, that was after the condo, and
Before
we moved in.
Midlothian.
Before we moved into the house in Midlothian.
Yeah, I've been to the haunted house once. For
Yeah, that house was 100% haunted. I saw a ghost in that house. For y'all viewers. And whatever was in that house, it was neutral towards Aaron and Cooper, but it did not like me. Like
Ooh.
whatever it wasn't terribly fond of me. Like all the like weird stuff that happened in that house happened to me.
Okay. Well, it looks like
That was yeah, what?
I was about to say I can't access the future from the end of time. I actually do have to go through the trial.
Shit. Damn. You can't go in the bucket?
The bucket takes me to Lavos.
Oh, the bucket takes you to Lavos.
And I think I have to.
You can't just fight
I
Lavos from the bucket?
it's. Oh, I think I have to do this stuff here. Maybe I can go through I can try going to the bucket, but I don't think I'm strong enough. Oh, I have to. Evidently, I have to reach certain objectives before I go in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he just signposted it for you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here.
Next time, if I remember, I'll tell you this. I'll tell the viewers the story about the ghost. I don't know if I've told that on the YouTube before.
I don't think so. I think this is the first time we've mentioned the ghost.
Okay, I've told you the story though.
Yes, you had told me that. I remember when you were living there, you told me about the ghost.
Yeah, that place was weird. It literally had a Confederate history museum, like in the neighborhood where we lived. It was a very strange place.
Yeah.
All right. But hopefully next time we'll find Chrono. We'll find the hero of Chrono Trigger, and that will allow us to get to the future and save the world from a Lavos.
Probably Queen Zeal, honestly. But either way, yeah. So until then, I've been Captain Floofers.
And I'm Soylent Greg.
And we'll be here next time. Join us, won't you?